Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out. This is episode 397. I'm cooking up a sweet giveaway for our 400th episode, so stay tuned for that. We have a very busy show for you, so no small talk off the top of the program. We're going to kick things off with a review of the Nintendo Switch 2. We're going to chat with Peer Schneider from IGN in a moment. Sort of a review. At the time of recording this, it was only some preliminary hands-on time with the new console, but people were lining up all across the country on Wednesday night, Thursday morning, so pretty exciting. Also on the program, IBM will join us to chat about AI in the workplace, and I'll share some smart home ideas, and a little bit later in the program, some gadget gift ideas for dads and grads for Father's Day and graduation. So a very busy Tech It Out for you this week. Powered by Visa, securing the world's payments is priority one. I'll tell you more about Visa's anti-fraud efforts shortly, but let's officially kick off the show with our first interview. It's official. Nintendo Switch 2 has launched on Thursday, June 5th, after more than a year of speculation and rumors and months of hype once it was formally announced. So, what is all the hype about? Is it warranted? Joining us on the show for the first time is Peer Schneider, co-founder and executive vice president of IGN, one of the biggest online entertainment platforms. Welcome to the show, Peer. Good to chat with you.
Hi, Mark. Thanks for having me on.
Well, this isn't a full review because at the time of recording this interview, your impressions are based on pre-launch time with the console in more of a controlled setting, I believe. So hard to assess things like battery and so on. But at a high level, tell us what Nintendo Switch 2 is all about.
The Switch 2 is basically like an iteration on the original Nintendo Switch console, which I would describe as a revolutionary change in gaming, right? Once in a while, a new device comes along, whether it's an iPad or an iPhone or, a home assistant device that really kind of changes how we interact with our favorite hobbies. And the Nintendo Switch was that, because what it did was it merged handheld gaming and console gaming into one device. And literally you could switch between playing on your television and then taking the device with you uninterrupted. You could just take it out and it keeps on playing and take it on an airplane or wherever you go. And so the Switch 2 is very much that, but in a more powerful package. Graphics are better, the sound is better, the resolution is higher. It's got a bigger screen, so it's a more beautiful device, but it's an iteration, it's a step up. And so much of the hype is about the games that you can play on the device and what comes in the future, more so than what it does to gaming and how it changes things.
Thanks for that. And I am going to ask you about some of the gaming highlights in a couple of moments from now, from your vantage point. And I know there are probably a couple of games you've played that aren't coming out until this summer, like Donkey Kong Bonanza, which I thought was fun. But yeah, thank you for calling that out. So it's probably called Nintendo Switch because you can switch from a portable or handheld gaming system into a console that you can dock and play on your big screen TV. So great for both, keeping the kids entertained in the back seat to reduce the "are we there yet?" as well as kids at heart like you and I. And then again, the versatility of being able to dock it and play it on your, 75-inch or 80-inch TV or whatever you have at home or in a hotel or something is great. It's an awesome option. So Nintendo Switch 2 sounds like an evolution of the Nintendo Switch, improving things like you mentioned a bigger screen. I think it's now 7.9 inches instead of 6.2, twice the resolution, has technologies like HDR, high dynamic range, for better contrast and brightness and color, has faster speeds to keep up with the latest games. And Peer, what's your take on the Joy-Con controllers on each side, now called Joy-Con 2? They now magnetically attach to the console. Do you like that idea instead of having to swipe in on that small, narrow groove? Do you think this is a better idea?
I do, and I think any current Nintendo Switch owner probably has struggled with the Joy-Con connection. It looks so good on paper when you actually know what you're doing, but if you put a Joy-Con on the wrong way, it's kind of a pain to get it back off the console, and probably some kids struggled with it, and they fixed that. And the name Switch also, there's this sort of the sound effect that Nintendo has employed throughout its marketing in the past, where it's like the snap sound, right? And the snap is what happens when you attach the controllers. And that's one of those examples of where Nintendo is just really clever with their sort of crazy toy maker ideas to like really kind of sell an idea to you. Just like if you remember the Nintendo Wii and waving the controller around like a golf club or a tennis racket, they did this thing with the controllers when you attach them, and that snap sound. Now actually literally it makes that click sound because they have these really strong magnets that pull the controllers in when you attach them. It feels really good and really intuitive. It's actually, if you'd be worried about something being magnetically held versus like a sliding in from the old ones, it's actually really steady. Like they wiggle less than the original Nintendo Switch controller. Full disclosure, Mark, I'm a little bit of an obsessive classic gaming collector, and I own every Nintendo Switch Joy-Con color and variation ever released. And so I'm looking at the Switch 2 launch with anticipation, but also a little bit of dread. And I'm just gonna have to be strong and not want to buy every one of those controllers.
Good luck with that, Peer. And speaking of strong, the kickstand is more durable this time around. I should mention it was a bit flimsy with the original Nintendo Switch. There's now spatial audio. And one of my favorite features of Nintendo Switch 2 is the C button. It's to launch game chat. Can you tell our listeners about that?
Yeah, so, obviously playing online games against friends that aren't in the same house and or are all the way across the world has been a feature in console gaming, PC gaming for a while. Nintendo's traditionally been a little lukewarm on it. Partially it's a Japanese company where online gaming wasn't as big as in the West. They finally, and also they've always been very protective because of kids, right? They want to make sure that anyone can play their games, and that kids aren't exposed to predators or negative experiences online. And so they've dragged their feet a little bit with the Switch 2. They're finally coming into the mainstream and are supporting online play with built-in voice chat. You had to use an external app for that on your phone with Nintendo Switch 1. With Switch 2, there's a built-in microphone. It's all very turnkey. Friending is upgraded. So Mark, you and I could send each other friend requests and instantly be linked and chat through the console whenever we have an internet connection. But they're also very playful about things. Like video chat's obviously something lots of people do with FaceTime or other devices, Zoom, other applications like Zoom all the time. Nintendo built this into the Nintendo Switch 2 with this optional camera attachment, and they made it fun, where when you're playing a game, you can bring up your friends' faces if they have a camera at the bottom of the screen, and so you see their reactions in real time when you're playing something like Mario Kart. And then they're actually doing some stuff where they alter. You can do overlays and filters and kind of have like fun little moments, take snapshots of the other players' reactions. So they're gamifying it in a way that only really Nintendo can. At its core, it's not something like mind-blowing or unique or something others haven't done, but Nintendo just has this sort of kind of twinkle in their eye and playful way of making something that's even a little bit old or interesting.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And you're right. We've seen online gaming with chatting for a very long time with PlayStation and Xbox and PC gaming. But for the Nintendo Switch, the original console, it wasn't the most graceful way to do it. Now with the built-in microphone with noise cancellation, by the way, it should be able to block out ambient sounds around you. Up to 12 people can now chat while they're gaming. You can also share your screen with up to 4 people at once. So if you're stuck even in, say, a single-player game, like one of the Zelda games, you can call up a friend and have them help you in real time by seeing where you're stuck, for example. And as you mentioned, you can also video chat now by adding an optional USB-C video camera. So it sounds like they've really upgraded everything across the board. We are chatting with Peer Schneider. He's co-founder and EVP of IGN, one of the biggest online entertainment platforms on the planet. Peer, I've known you for 25 years now. You've been in the industry for a long time.
Something 90s, Mark.
Something 90s. Okay, I'll take that. So look, we've been around long enough to know that it's tricky to launch a successor to a popular console because on one hand, you don't want to mess with the formula, right? You don't want to change what made the original so popular. But on the flip side, you need to give gamers a reason to upgrade. Has Nintendo straddled that line? What's your opinion on that?
So just for background, right, the Nintendo Switch is the number 3 best-selling gaming console of all time. It sold over 150 million units worldwide. It's only lagging behind the Nintendo DS and the PlayStation 2, which, it is likely going to overtake both of them in the course of the next 2 years because the console isn't going away, right? So the Switch 2 follows in the footsteps of a massive success for Nintendo. That doesn't always guarantee that the follow-up is going to be a success, right? The Nintendo Wii was a groundbreaking success, and the follower Nintendo Wii U, very, very similarly named, did not become a success. It was one of the greatest failures. I think in the case of the Switch 2, there are a couple of different things at play here. One is the format has not outstayed its welcome. If you remember the original Wii, people in the end stopped playing the motion-enabled games, right? Like tennis, golf, all of that stuff got kind of old. And then a lot of people used the Nintendo Switch as a Netflix machine for years to come, but didn't really buy games for it.
A few more minutes about Nintendo Switch 2 with Peer Schneider, co-founder of IGN. So stick with us. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out. Hang tight.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. We've got just 2 minutes left with Peer Schneider, co-founder of IGN, IGN.com. We're talking Nintendo Switch 2. Now, before the break, Peer, you were just about to share some thoughts on some of the advantages that Nintendo Switch 2 has at launch. Please continue your thought.
Nintendo Switch 2 launches with Nintendo's biggest franchise, and that's Mario Kart. They have a new game called Mario Kart World. And so that's a very, very powerful first day game to have. They never had a Mario Kart game at launch like that. And then secondly, there's some really unique things that I don't think have shown their value yet. The new Joy-Con controllers, you don't just attach them to the Switch 2 and play like you would with a regular gaming controller. You can take them off and you can turn them on their side and they act like a PC mouse.
Yeah, like the game Dragon Drive, right?
Yeah, that's right. There's a game where you basically use the two Joy-Con and you move them on the table forward as if you were riding in a wheelchair. So you're like pushing the wheelchair forward with the motion of the controllers on the table. Now, what that enables, apart from some unique experiences like that, is that games that were formerly locked to PCs, like first-person shooters, anything like, think about a game like Civilization, they were always better on PC because you wanted that nuance and the mouse movement. They're now possible not just on a console device, but on a portable that you take with you. So you could play a game like that on an airplane, and Nintendo has demonstrated that you can use these Joy-Con as a mouse by putting them on your pants, like on your pant leg basically, and moving the controller like a mouse there, and it all functions pretty well. And so I think that story hasn't been told very well, and I think it takes the right game to really demonstrate that in the future. And so I think people will be pretty excited when they see the device in action.
Where could our listeners read more about the Nintendo Switch 2? No doubt you're going to have a review up at IGN, reviews of the games, some news, feature stories perhaps.
You just start at IGN.com and you will see plenty of coverage that leads you deeper in, but we've been around for a while. So we're actually active on all platforms, whether you're on TikTok or on YouTube, where we have almost 20 million subscribers. Just follow us anywhere there.
Peer, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today, sharing your time and your expertise on Nintendo Switch 2. Good to catch up with you. It's been a while. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Mark.
Hey, do you want to upgrade your home sweet home into a home smart home? I had a lot of fun on Wednesday morning out of New York, broadcasting to various TV stations to share a few easy-to-use smart home innovations that can save you time, money, and give you peace of mind. For the summer months, you're going to want the Eero Outdoor 7. This brings fast Wi-Fi 7 speeds outside with reliable coverage up to 15,000 square feet. So that's to power your fun experiences like streaming your sports while you're outside with friends or DJing pool parties, or for more practical purposes like security cameras at the edge of your property. This is weatherproof Wi-Fi with what's called IP66 protection against dust, rain, and snow, and these can operate in extreme temperatures. The easy app-based install includes mounting accessories for virtually any surface. Again, that's called Eero, E-E-R-O, Outdoor 7. Next up, the T-Mobile 5G home internet service is awesome if you need affordable and reliable Wi-Fi, especially during moving season. Whether you're renting, buying, or relocating this summer, T-Mobile 5G home internet is an easy and hassle-free way to get connected. Plus, right now, you can score up to a $300 gift card when you sign up. Plans start at only $35 a month, and it includes a 5-year price guarantee. So you've got the peace of mind knowing that the prices won't go up. And some plans even come with perks like free subscriptions to Hulu, Paramount Plus, and more. Now, if you love online shopping, as I do, but you're not at home as much this time of year to receive the packages, I've got an awesome solution for you. It's called Amazon Key in Garage Delivery. As the name suggests, it's a secure and convenient way to help protect your orders from theft and bad weather by placing deliveries inside your garage. Whether it's for Amazon.com, Amazon Fresh, or Whole Foods Market, it's compatible with most smart garages and is exclusively available for Prime members, which I highly recommend. Setup is super simple and can be done in the Amazon app itself. Just shop like you normally would and then choose key delivery at checkout. It's that easy. So a vetted driver will be able to scan your package when they get to your home. The garage door will automatically open. You do not need to share your PIN code to your garage with them. They place the package a couple of feet in the garage and then it closes behind them and you're notified on an app wherever life takes you. Did you know that water damage accounts for nearly a quarter of all home insurance claims? Well, to help, the Moen Flow Smart Water Monitor and Shutoff connects to your home's main supply line to proactively notify you of any leaks, a burst or frozen pipe, or issues like running toilets and faucet drips. If something is detected, the water supply can automatically shut off, and then you're notified via the Moen app, allowing you to monitor and control problems from anywhere at any time. Moen.com has more on that. And finally, over the past 25 plus years, Vivint has become a leader in advanced smart home tech. Now part of NRG, Vivint is fusing smart home innovation and security with energy management. With rising summer electricity bills, you can claim control of your energy usage and ultimately reduce costs, which everybody, I'm sure, wants to do. Vivint offers seamlessly connected devices from lighting to HVAC and more, all controlled via a central app. Every system includes professional installation, and it includes 24/7 customer support and monitoring. Simply visit inthenews.tv. You can even see a video of all of these products that I'm chatting about. All right, that's, again, inthenews.tv. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out when we chat with IBM about AI. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. We cover cybersecurity a lot on this program and how you can best protect yourself in the digital age, even if you're not super tech savvy. One part of the solution is securely shopping online. And so I'm thrilled about my partnership with Visa on Tech It Out, as they've made some significant investments in fraud prevention over the past 5 years, as much as $10 billion. Yes, that's billion with a B, to support Visa's brand promise to protect the financial information of individuals individuals and businesses. Zero liability means peace of mind when you shop online using your Visa card. There can be no half measures when it comes to cybersecurity, which is why the company takes an aggressive and multi-layered approach to combating the rising threat of malicious software and other threats by well-funded and global criminal enterprises. Read more about Visa and how securing the world's payments is priority one at visa.com/security. That's visa.com/security. Have you ever wondered what happens behind the scenes when you ask ChatGPT a question? What types of systems are powering these AI tools? And perhaps more importantly, what happens to your data, your information? Some surveys have found people are skeptical about how their data is used or misused. Joining us to chat about this is Hillery Hunter, CTO of IBM Infrastructure, to share insights into consumer concerns and opportunities around AI and what companies can do to keep their AI operations safe and secure. Hi, Hillery. Thanks so much for your time today. Good to chat with you.
Thanks for having me on.
I get a lot of questions from readers of my articles and listeners to this program about AI. And I think specifically it's Gen AI, generative AI, like ChatGPT, as I mentioned off the top. Maybe that's a good place to start with you, Hillery. What are some examples of how people are using AI in their everyday lives? And of course, what their concerns are around the tech?
I think, Mark, you started off with one of the most recognizable tools, OpenAI's ChatGPT. Today, millions of Americans are already using those tools, also capabilities like Anthropic's Claude. These are really popular, and if you have a teenager, I'm sure you've seen them doing even their homework using these things. But AI is fundamentally changing the way that we work, the way that we learn and get information, the way that we plan our free time and get recommendations on recreational activities. It's not something in the future. It's something that's impacting us every day right now. And almost everyone in our society is using AI to summarize information or interacting with AI-based systems when they're seeking customer service from a provider that they're using. I think to this topic of data and the question of, where is my data going and how am I using AI in an effective way? AI can draft and summarize documents. It can help us then spend more time on higher value work, on creative efforts. It can help create efficiency for businesses. And it can help us move faster toward things that really benefit our lives. Teachers can bring AI into the classroom for lesson planning support. Healthcare workers can get recommendations of how to improve patient care. But I think there's still a bit of a gap between those who really understand the boundaries and the data protection and what their providers are giving them and those who don't. Our adoption index study that we did in 2024 said that the biggest inhibitors of generative AI adoption are that organizations in many cases are concerned about data privacy, and they're concerned about trust and transparency. And so I think that's important for the consumer to know, because it means that enterprises and businesses are being really thoughtful about this core question of protecting data. And many are making very intentional and careful choices to protect the data of their consumers. At IBM, we're really making it a priority to show that end users can use AI in a trustworthy way and that it can be steerable and controllable. But we need to do a better job at shining the light on the benefits that Americans already are seeing today from those businesses that are partnering with companies like ourselves who are really focused on that trust and security and safety of your data as you interact with AI.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to ask you in a couple of moments about IBM and how they're helping to advance AI technology responsibly. But at a higher level, how would you say, Hillery, companies are leveraging AI or bringing AI into their business? Can you give us some examples?
Yeah, within a business, there's a lot of what we would call processes and workflows. There's really complicated steps, long chains of things that need to happen in order for us as a consumer to interact effectively with those businesses, in order for them to, for example, ensure their supply chain, make sure that they're getting all the right parts in at the right time on an affordable basis, to interact with employees, human resources, HR processes. But there's also complicated things that happen across sales, marketing, operations, finance, really all parts of a business. We see that about 3/4 of business executives say that they need to adopt generative AI quickly in order to keep up with their competitors across all of those core functions. So there really isn't any part of a modern, effective enterprise that shouldn't be looking at how AI can make it more effective and help the employees in that area move to higher value work.
Fair. And I think even enterprise level companies like, medium businesses, understandably, they're trying to leverage AI as a way to even the playing field, right? To give them an advantage if they can, even against larger companies that aren't leveraging AI as effectively as some smaller companies are. I like seeing this across the board as long as it's being used responsibly. But I agree with you from what I've learned over the last couple of years, certainly since November of 22, when ChatGPT came out, that companies are using tools like generative AI across the board in every division, every department, at every level, not just with chatbots for the consumer-facing interactions with that company, but also within the organization. And so with that in mind, how can companies ensure they're using data safely?
I think the first thing is to work with AI models where the provider is transparent about the data sources that they use to create that model, knowing where data came from, and then therefore how it may come out the other side of an AI model is one of the most important things. We talk about seeking a data fact sheet. You can think of that like a nutrition label. We have these FDA nutrition labels that tell us what's inside the products that we purchase to consume. And you want that kind of information and that conversation to be transparent with your AI model provider. You also want to think about using smaller models that you can then customize to your specific enterprise data. And this is a key approach that we're working with more enterprises to look at. I think the last thing is that you want to look at securing the different environments where you are deploying AI, and bringing the AI to where that data is secure and protected is a key part of their strategy to ensure that customer payments and consumer payments remain secure.
More with Hillery Hunter, CTO of IBM Infrastructure, to chat with us about AI when we return on Tech It Out.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out, hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Tech It Out. We've got a couple of minutes left with Hillery Hunter, Chief Technical Officer of IBM Infrastructure. She has been sharing insights into current consumer concerns and opportunities around AI and what companies can do to keep their AI operations safe and secure. Speaking of security, Hillery, before the break, you were talking to us about ways to minimize the risk of data falling into the wrong hands. There was a well-known story from early 2024 of, I think it was a Samsung employee who used OpenAI to research a product that was being developed internally at Samsung. Unknowingly, that information was going to be shared, with the collective, if you will. And he inadvertently shared some corporate secrets long before our product debuted. And so obviously that's a concern among many businesses that, it's one thing about, customer data and transactions and all that to protect their consumers, but also sharing potentially sensitive information by betting on the wrong AI tool that doesn't have transparency with what's happening with their data. Have you heard that feedback from companies?
Absolutely. I think education, both of us individually as consumers and education of employees, is at the heart of using and implementing AI responsibly. In many cases, things have happened just because people had no idea that the service they were interacting with had rights to the data that they're supplying into that AI capability. And so I think education is key. If you're a consumer, look at the terms of the apps and other things that you're using. If you're a business and you're considering implementing AI, as I said, work with a provider that's transparent about the data that went into that AI and that is transparent equally about the data posture of what you put into it. It's completely possible as a business to use services where your data is your data and it remains your data and it's not used to further improve that AI and it can't flow out to others.
What is IBM doing specifically to help advance AI technology in a responsible way?
We're focused on a couple things. I think first, we come from a heritage of IT that is intended for the most regulated of industries and intended for industries where consumer data protection is paramount, like in retail, for example. And so we're approaching AI from that same perspective. So whether it's healthcare companies or finance or insurance, we're helping them bring AI to where their data resides so that they're not wondering about where their data went. We're helping them use secure environments in the cloud with new technologies like confidential computing that enable a very deep level of sensitive data protection, even in a public environment like a cloud. And so whether it's from encryption and confidential computing technologies through to where and how that AI is deployed and managed, we're working with our clients on a comprehensive strategy that can help them move forward at speed. As you said, Mark, there are even small businesses for which AI today can be the primary differentiator of their quality of service, of their personalization, of their customization to us as clients, and can help them really grow. But small, medium, or large and regulated businesses across the globe need to be able to monitor their data, monitor their AI. And so we're creating everything from AI on the mainframe to watsonx.governance that helps you oversee and manage your AI and how it's deployed, and secure cloud and on-prem deployments to really give optionality that you can move forward with confidence to use AI to transform your business and create an advantage.
Where can our listeners go for more info on what we've chatted about today?
Yeah, just a quick website that I'd recommend folks check out, ibm.com/AI-infrastructure.
All right, ibm.com/AI-infrastructure. I know a lot of IT decision makers at various organizations tune in to this program, so that's a great URL to plug as we wrap up. Hillery Hunter, thank you so much for your time today. Really enjoyed our chat. Thanks again.
Great talking to you, Mark. Thank you.
Some guys like ties, but all boys love toys. I've been chatting on TV about great gadget gift ideas for Father's Day, and if you have a graduate in the home. So gift ideas for dads and grads. I thought I would spend a couple of minutes now. Maybe you're still looking for that gift ahead of June 15th. And so here are a bunch of ideas. Now for pricing, I'm going to plug a website at the end of each item because that's where you'll get up-to-date pricing and availability, i.e. what retailers have what you are looking for. And because there are some regional sales, it's just easier to do it that way. So listen for the website at the end of each item. All right, let's start off with a delicious device. I'm referring to the Ninja Creamy Swirl ice cream maker. Hey, if you want to be the most popular house on the street this summer, this is a device for your kitchen that turns your countertop into an ice cream shop. It's a TikTok sensation and a Best Buy bestseller. This machine is easy to set up and use, and it lets you make soft serve ice cream, sorbets and gelatos, milkshakes, protein shakes, frozen yogurt, and a lot more. You can create recipes from the included book or experiment on your own by adding ingredients like cocoa or fruit or nuts, sprinkles, any other ingredients from your kitchen. Throw in a couple of Oreos or Fudgios into that vanilla ice cream. You get the idea. Simply pull the arm to dispense it into a bowl, cup, or cone. Again, that's the Ninja Creamy Swirl ice cream maker at Best Buy. BestBuy.com has more. Next up, those who take their music seriously will appreciate JBL Tour 1 M3 over-ear headphones, which delivers pristine sound and advanced noise cancellation. It features 40mm drivers and has an internal DAC, a digital to analog converter, which can deliver high-resolution or lossless audio with the USB-C or 3.5mm stereo cable, both of which are included in the box, enabled by the onboard DAC. The noise cancellation is amazing with the 8 microphones, and it has a battery life of up to 70 hours. JBL.com has more. I will share other gadget gift ideas for dads and grads when we return on Tech It Out. Stay with us.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want.
If you're just tuning in now, I'm sharing some gadget gift ideas for dads and grads, Father's Day, or maybe you've got a graduate in your home from high school or college or what have you. For worker bees, Perhaps your crew will go in on or give gift cards that can go towards the HP OmniBook X Flip 14. It's a next generation AI laptop that's thin, light, and versatile. It's a 2-in-1 computer that can be used in multiple modes, or a convertible as it's sometimes called, because you can bend back the 360-degree hinge to convert it from a laptop into a touchscreen tablet, or put it in tent mode for viewing videos or presentations, or when you're engaged in a video call. In fact, it's got an embedded Polycamera Pro for super clear video calls, while AI can get rid of background noise for you. Speaking of AI, it is powered by a Copilot Plus AI companion, as well as an Intel Core Ultra 7 processor under the hood, and a huge 1 terabyte solid state drive, or SSD, for fast speeds. Finally, the HP OmniBook X Flip 14 has multiple ports on each side, so you don't need to buy a hub to carry around with you to connect several devices at the same time. HP.com has more. If you're just joining us, I'm sharing some gadget gift ideas for dads and grads. Father's Day is June the 15th, and you may have a graduate in your home from high school, college or university this month, as we do. And so I'm sharing verbally the products that I showed visually on TV last week. Got some nice messages about it. I talked about a Ninja Creamy Swirl ice cream maker, JBL One M3 over-ear headphones, which sound phenomenal, a versatile HP Omni laptop powered by AI, and I've got a couple more to share with you. The last couple of suggestions are for the home. From Ecovacs, the WinBot W2 Pro Omni is billed as the world's first robotic window cleaner with a portable charging station. So it gives you hands-free and streak-free operation. It features an industry-first edge cleaning mode and powerful 3-nozzle spray for hard-to-reach areas, whether it's navigating floor-to-ceiling sliding doors, shower doors, or windows, big and small. And don't forget, it can be used in your home as well. This device suctions onto your window and it navigates on its own, or you can use an app if you want to take control manually. But the idea is to, set it and forget it. In other words, you can leverage this robot to spend time on what you actually want to do this summer rather than what you have to do. And hey, it's a lot safer than getting on a ladder as well, right? Again, it's the WinBot W2 Pro Omni from Ecovacs at ecovacs.com. And then finally, a pair of screens, budget permitting. If it's time to replace the family's aging television with a stunning big screen TV, it's hard to pull your eyes away from the LG OLED Evo G5 TV. With sizes ranging from 55 inches all the way up to 97 inches, the G5 delivers a 45% increase in brightness over its predecessor, while the self-lit OLED Pixel technology delivers perfect black levels and true-to-life colors. It's also an AI-powered smart TV with a microphone-enabled Magic remote that you can speak into for added personalization and even access to an interactive chatbot. It's pretty wild. And the other screen I alluded to is a huge monitor for gamers. It's the LG UltraGear OLED 45GX 950A. It's the world's first 5K 2K OLED gaming monitor for incredible resolution and contrast and brightness and colors and speed, which is important for gamers. It's got 0.03 millisecond response time to keep up with those fast-paced games. I know this is radio or a podcast, but you got to see this thing. It's an ultra-wide 45-inch display that's curved, and it's got a 21:9 aspect ratio. So, hey, by day, you can use it as a very efficient tool for productivity because you can have several windows open at the same time. It's like having two monitors side by side. But by night, with those speeds and that resolution, it's awesome for gamers. There's multiple ports. You can adjust the monitor up, down, side to side, curve it any way you like. And it has a relatively small footprint, so it fits on most desks with its small stand, but sturdy enough to hold that giant widescreen monitor in place. Again, it's the OLED 45GX 950A. It's part of the UltraGear family from LG, and you can learn more at lg.com. Well, there you have it, a half dozen gadget gift guide ideas ahead of Father's Day, June 15th, and perhaps a graduate you have in your home, because June is dads and grads season. As we wrap up, and one other great gift idea for dads or grads would be a SanDisk storage solution to easily back up all of your important files onto something super thin and light and fast. SanDisk.com has more. Thank you for your support on this program. Also, a huge thank you to Visa. Securing the world's payments is priority one. Learn all about Visa's anti-fraud efforts at visa.com/security. Well, I hope you enjoyed the program with the various guests and topics we had. I hope you have an amazing week ahead, and I look forward to catching up with you next weekend for another brand new episode of Tech It Out on the Radio American Network. I'm your host, Mark Saltzman. Ciao for now.